because what you guys just said. We can never capture everything perfectly. So how confident do you want to be? Say that again. 99% would not be a bad choice. I love that very much. Let's be 99% confident. Let's be 99% confident. How about 99.9? That hell with that. Let's use 99. Let's use 99. Let's be 99% confident. And Danielle, we're actually getting close to the answer to your question with what Carly just said. You might not see how yet, but that's okay. We're going to be 99% confident. Okay? So that's the first question. The question you have to ask is how confident. Now, let's ascribe Carly's 99% to that right now, and then I want to come back after the break and make sure we understand what 99% confidence actually means. What does it mean? Okay? So, what we have to do then is come over here. We know we're going to be 99% confident. What we are now going to learn how to do is we're going to construct the 99%, what's called a confidence interval. A 99% confidence interval. Now, I had you guys looking at these in 243 back in the day. I never had you constructing them yourselves, though. We just looked at the results of Gallup polls and things like that and interpreted them. So what we have to do is now actually construct this thing from the ground up, from our data, using the ideas we just kind of remembered from 243. So what these things look like is it looks like a p-hat value plus or minus the margin of error. So we have to do this calculation. Not that bad. Not that bad at all. You're half done with the p-hat. You already got that, right? That's the 160 out of 340. That's done, 47%. But now we have to calculate the plus or minus. Plus or minus. Carly voted for 99%. Love it. At 99% confidence, that's the 2 point. Yes, the Z critical for 99% is 2.575. That, if you used the normal, that would give you 99% in the middle. Negative 2.575 to positive 2.575. So the multiplier here is going to be 2.575. How come it's not just 2? How come we kept using 2 back in 243? Yeah, well, let's use 2. Why are we going to 2.575 now? Because Carly told me I had to. She said 99% confidence. We're not at 95, Emily. Thank you. Okay? So you adjust this number based on how confident you want to be. We'll come back to why we want to change that momentarily. The word confident doesn't make a whole lot of sense right now, I'm guessing. Let's just go with this. Then we're going to mess with this. We're going to mess with this and see what happens as this changes. Go ahead, Veronica.
Did you take that 2.575 just because you know that's what it is?
You know it too. You did it. If you did the very last quiz on the very last week of 243, I actually had you calculate what's between negative 2.575 and positive, and it's 99% exactly.
Okay.
So it's a matter of practice and using certain values over and over again.
Okay.
Like we know 95% is roughly 2, 99 is roughly that,
okay.
68 is roughly 1. There's just certain values that pop up quite a bit in statistics. So it's just that I've been using them for 20 years, you've been using them for 4 weeks.
Okay.
Go ahead, Linda.
I was just wondering if that was what you just had down.
It's exactly what it is. That's why I glanced over and made sure I was right. Because I was going to say 2.5 or 3, because I forget them sometimes too. I rely on technology very often to calculate these for me. And I don't have to memorize them, which is nice. Fair? Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead, Veronica. Yes.
Is that sheet that you showed us going to be available?
Not necessary. You'll see why momentarily.
Okay.
Yeah, I always like crunching through one thing manually and then letting technology do the rest for us.
Okay.
Yeah, so don't worry about memorizing that stuff. No, not necessary.
Okay.
All we've got to do, now that's the multiplier. We now have to get that standard error calculation. Remember that bad boy? Can I change this to 47% rather than this fraction? Would that kill anybody? It might make the math a little bit easier. Can I just change that to 47% right now? Is that all right? I just remembered you guys hate fractions. And I'm going to have a fraction over a fraction, which I think will make you hate me even more. So this now has to be p hat times q hat. P hat was 47%, yes? What was q hat again? That's chance of failure. And we have to divide that by the sample size which was the 340. Friends, Romans, countrymen, what is this thing equal to? What is that calculation equal to? Because that is our margin of error. That's what we were guessing at before. 3%, 5%, 2%, 1%. What is that calculation equal to? Because that is the plus or minus we need to use at 95%. Come, Linda, answer that question.
Are we doing the margin of error?
Yes, we are.
formula?
Yes, we are. Check it out. Ready? Ready? Z critical. Here's your, check this out, Linda. Here's your Z critical. Here's your P hat. Here's your Q hat. And here's your little n. Yeah, they're all tucked in there. And P hat's over here by itself. Yeah, we are definitely doing that margin of error calculation. And what is it? 0.07? 0.027. So is it 2.7% or 7%? I'm either 6 feet tall or 60 feet tall. I like that. That's good. Dissension. Dissension amongst the ranks. This is why I hardly make students, except for when we're learning it, I hardly ever make students crunch these things manually because they become a pain in the butt with fractions and the radicals in it. You guys ever take the square root? Let's do it real quick together. Let's do it real quick together. Gesundheit. Then we'll learn a way to let technology take it over for us. Because honestly, it is a pain in the butt. It really is a pain in the butt. It's too easy to screw up. It's all your worst memories from Math 65 all coming back to say, hey, what's up? Sorry.